every VTuber's favorite activity, or at least VTubers without enough money for scabs. It's Picrew time. So I think I'm gonna finalize with this little one and publish. Looks great, but there is one problem. That is not Neve. Very cute anime girl, but not Neve. So how am I gonna fix it? I have to edit it in post. Usually I do this by taking a screenshot and just putting it in the iOS Photos app. So bear with me while I crop, and I'll be back once we change apps. Okay, so here we are in the Photos app. That first picture is the first version of this that I did, but I realized at the end of everything that the eye color wasn't correct, so I went back and decided I'd also record it for, I don't know, posterity, I guess. I usually increase the exposure first because we're taking a lot of the light out of the image, and that will help balance it. Then I reduce so much. I reduce the brilliance, the contrast, the highlight, and the shadows pretty significantly, especially with the contrast, you'll see later. Brightness down as well, and black point sort of in like a middle territory. I started out with reducing the saturation and increasing the vibrance, but then I realized I wanted the opposite, because I want the colors to be there, especially once I change them, but I don't want them to be of a really particularly deep or heavy tone. I want them to kind of be moderately deep in tone, so that way it looks like skin and hair, and even if it's cartoon skin and hair. Then, counterintuitively, as you just saw, I pushed the warmth of the image backward towards a cool tone and use the tint to make the actual skin tone. The result is a darker skin color with a cool undertone, which is exactly what I wanted. The next thing you're going to see is I'm going to push the definition and sharpness back up. So because you're reducing the contrast, which is responsible for a lot of what defines the image, increasing the sharpness and definition is like contrast light. It's not as strong and doesn't affect the entire image. It just kind of makes the lines look nicer. It's obviously a really nice piece of art. It's basically impossible to ruin it, but if you're going to change this much, you might have to go back and make a few more adjustments, and that's fair. So, in conclusion, pop the exposure up, reduce brilliance, contrast, highlights, and shadows. Push black point a little bit, push saturation a little bit, reduce vibrance significantly. Make sure that the warmth is a cool tone, and use the tint to get the brown for the skin, or whether you want like brown or orange undertone, and then resharpen and redefine. And that's what works for iOS Photos app. If you use an Android product, just, I guess, adjust what would be the equivalent toggles. I'm not sure if they work exactly the same, and they may be different on different devices, but this works for me. And I really want to see if it works for anyone else. So if you decide to use this, if you love Picrews but are sometimes frustrated when, you know, it doesn't go past like paper bag tone, I invite you to try this out and tag me in your results on Twitter. I would love to see what people do, and I'll repost you. I will repost you. So, or retweet. That's the right terminology. But yeah, we're all done here. So thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked it. Maybe subscribe. I don't do a lot of editing content, but you might like the other stuff that I produce. And see you next time.